Alright, we are back with a new deck for Pioneer. A cheeky new deck called Bant Butts. The concept of this deck is born out of the card's High Alert, which says each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power for your creatures. And then you can have your defender creatures attack as if they didn't have defender. And then for 4 mana you can untap a creature. Assault Formation also in the deck is a 2-drop that says each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to the toughness rather than the power. Then you can also pay a green to have a creature you control lose defender, so that would probably be why it's 1 mana cheaper, because you have to pay to have creatures lose defender, but can also give your entire team +0/+1 as many times you can spend 3 mana. And this deck came out of a old standard deck from this time frame, so we will talk about bringing that back for Pioneer. I think we have enough cards in place. So what do we have that has a big toughness? How about a 1 mana 0/5 vanilla turtle? Yeah. How about a 0/4 that can scry you a card for 1 mana? How about a flying Fae of Wishes that can also grant you a wish, which can wish for a High Alert or any of these other cards that we'll get into later? And then also, from the old standard deck I had, Deputy of Detention, a fantastic creature removal or a permanent removal card that instead of being a 1/3 for 3, it's a 3/3 for 3. And then I found this card, Runic Armasaur. It's a 2/5. Whenever your opponent activates an ability on a creature or a land, you may draw a card. So it gives you some incidental card draw, and a 5 toughness creature for 3 mana. And then we also have yet another way for our creatures with Defender to attack. We have Arcades the Strategist. So Flying Vigilance 3/5. Whenever a creature you control with Defender enters, you draw a card, and then your creatures with Defender again can attack as though they didn't have Defender, and they assign combat damage equal to their toughness. So we have 10 cards in the main that lets your creatures with Defender attack and your team attack with their toughness. But what about the Pride of the Hullclade? An 11-drop, 2/15 that costs X less to cast, where X is the total toughness of creatures you control. It also has Defender, and it has this special ability where a creature you control gets +1/+0, and whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw cards equal to its toughness. And it can also attack as though it didn't have Defender. So I feel like there's a lot of ways for your creatures with Defender to attack. In addition, if you play a turn 1 turtle followed by a turn 2 turtle, you can also play a turn 2 Pride of the Hullclade, and then a turn 3 Assault Formation or High Alert is attacking for game, which doesn't happen all the time, but it could happen, and I've had it happen. Right now, our incidental removal spells in the main is Get Lost, a fantastic removal card dealing with creatures, enchantments, and planeswalkers. Then we're also going with Heliod's Intervention as a way to gain life and destroy multiple artifacts and enchantments. The mana base is pretty much what you'd expect. And then the basics for when we get our lands destroyed by Field of Ruin. So there you have it, Bant Butts in the main. This has been a lot better than I thought it would be, and it's very silly and fun to play, and especially to win. Our sideboard cards, we have Deafening Silence, a way to slow down the Phoenix deck. We have our graveyard removal option of Soul Guide Lantern, Devout Decree for planeswalker and creature removal for those colored decks. Cease and Desist, a way to destroy all enchantments and artifacts, or no, additional graveyard removal. More Deputies of Detention to come in if needed. Our High Alert for the Wishboard. Ashiok Dream Render for the decks that lose to this card. And then Dawn Dusk, a way to potentially wrath the board and get all your creatures from the graveyard back to your hand, because all the creatures in this deck, aside from Arcades, would definitely go back to your hand after this as well. Maybe I should run more of those. But there you have it, Bant Butts. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.